What's up everybody? Welcome to Indie Comics Review. This week I've got 3 new books that were released last week to review. In addition to what I'm calling a new segment that I'm calling, I should say, Artist Alley, which is lesser known comics that you might not be aware of, which is what the whole channel was meant to be in the first place actually. So I want to focus a little bit more on the more unsung creators out there. In addition to that, there's also information at the end of the video, so stick around to the end of the video where I'm going to tell you how to win my first giveaway. And there'll be information about how to do that at the end of the video. So let's get started right away with the first book, which is Tankers from Bad Idea Comics. And Tankers is written by Robert Venditti and illustrated by Juan Jose. So Tankers was, let's say, this is such a hard book to catch up with. There's only a few places in the country, literally, maybe even the world, where you can find Bad Idea Comics. Unfortunately, I was able to find one. A lot of you have already heard that what the basic plot of Tankers is. So I'm just going to go over it anyway and just give you an overview of it. I'm not going to reveal too much of the interiors and all that. Tankers takes place in the present day, and it starts with this oil mogul, this real Texas-y, oily, capitalist guy who has the bright idea, like, we're just not making enough money off this oil. We've only got a few decades left of this oil that we've had around for years, so let's figure a way we can have oil for centuries to come, at least another century to come. So he figures a way, he hires scientists who figure a way, I should say, to go back in time and use a particle blast to deflect the comet that hit the Earth that killed the dinosaurs. So, bright idea being that, hey, more dinosaurs die, the more oil for me. Sounds great on paper, I suppose, and he tells his board of directors, like, hey, this is going to happen. They say you're crazy, and then he brings out the plan to show them how it's going to happen. And Tankers refers to these like gung-ho, like military types that operate these exoskeletons that just blast dinosaurs to shit. they're just totally just made for destroying things, and with dinosaurs in particular. So they get these tankers. They made this portal to it's kind of similar to you guys ever watched the Time Tunnel? It's one of these old 60s TV shows. Kind of puts you in the mind of that, or Stargate, where they find this portal that takes them back in time, and they go back in time and they clear out an area in what would be today Mexico, and they clear this area out by basically just by annihilating dinosaurs. And they just like, and these people take way too much glee in annihilating dinosaurs, so they love their job a little bit too much, if you ask me. So they clear out this area, they set up a base, the particle blaster follows them into the past, and the particle blaster sets up at a certain time, and they deflect the asteroid. Hey, everybody celebrates. And they're literally like sitting there like eating barbecue dinosaur. I mean, this is like such an exercise in like jingoism and just toxic masculinity and all the greed and capitalism and all the horrible things about this society is on display in the pages of this book. So after this great thing is done, the barbecue is over, they come back to the present day, and things are not what they expected. Go figure. Who could have thought when you started screwing around with time, things don't turn out the way you expected. Even though a lot of tankers have been leaked, I think it's still worth checking out because this is a really well-written story, and the art is beautiful. It's a top-notch art, top-notch story, and this, even though you kind of know what the premise is, just seeing the way that they execute this mission is worth the price of the book. I believe it is a $6.99 cover price book. $5.99, $5.99 cover price book. I signed up for the tankers package from this store in my state. Um, the next issue will be, I think, in a month. But yeah, tankers, man, and it's just it's totally worth the $5.99 too, because it's cardstock cover. You can see it's like totally embossed, not embossed, but it's just like this matte finish and this gloss finish combo on the cover. The back cover has got this pretty cool bad idea graphic on the back. Yeah, man, we'll see how the bad idea thing shakes out in the end. Right now, they're all the rage, and rightfully so. They got good creators on board, and I think they've got the right idea as far as promoting their stuff. And I guess they make it a little bit more accessible. That'd be nice, but not overly saturated. We'll see how that works. But yeah, if you can get tankers, people, grab that book, because it is worth the price of admission. Next book is Phantom on the Scan, and it is written by Cullen Bunn and illustrated by Mark Torres. Phantom on the Scan, I almost didn't pick this book up. It was literally, I came back at the store and I saw it and I picked it up, and I'm glad I did. It was one of the featured first at my local comic shop, and this story is this is one of the stories that really uses the medium of comics for a subject matter that normally doesn't get out there. That's why I love it so much, because it's not it seems like it's a little different. It begins 20 years in the past, when there's a comet. There's a comet sighting, and there's some event that happens, and we don't get the full gist of what that event was, but our main character, his name is Matt, has constant nightmares about the events of the past. And one of those events is the comet that happened years ago, that came to Earth years ago. And he wakes up in the middle of the night, and he has these nightmares, and we see him talking to someone. You think it's maybe like his girlfriend or his partner or his roommate or something like that. It turns out Matt speaks to this dead boy, and this boy who's, I guess, been part of his life for a while. Once again, we're not told how he relates to the boy, just that the boy is deceased, and that he also does some things for Matt. Also, he's more than just a ghost. He's more like some sort of he has some sort of supernatural power as well. So Matt is also seeing a therapist, and this therapist, it appears to maybe not have his best interest at heart. So when Matt sees him the next time, the little boy is with him, and Matt tells the kid, hey, make this guy tell me what he knows. He feels like he's hiding something from him, and it turns out he is. And they're able to get the names of four other people from this guy, while under influence of the power of the kid. And Matt has, I mentioned Matt has some sort of psychic powers himself. Well, Matt has psychic powers himself. So that's one reason he's able to see the kid, and also he's able to contact other people, most likely telepathically, to some method like that. It's not fully explained, but that's the gist of what I can garner from it. And he decides to have these people meet him at a diner to tell them that they are in danger. And these four people, not knowing why, not knowing Matt or any of the other four people, they show up at the diner, and he starts to explain to them what's going on as far as why they need to be aware that they're in danger. And before he can fully get the story out, strange, crazy shit starts to happen, and the story ends on a cliffhanger that is is pretty cool. But man, this book has elements of mystery. It's so well layered, and it teases you're teased about stuff that is not explained, but it's not like confusing. Like in the next book, I'm going to talk about how it's kind of confusing, and that's another story. But and it's really Cullen Bunn has really done a good job of telling this story, and the artwork just goes perfectly with this story. As far as I'm concerned, this is a great combination. I don't know what's coming up next, but man, I really am looking forward to this next issue. I am going to absolutely subscribe to Phantom on the Scan and from Aftershock Comics. And I recommend that if you like a good thriller and you're into the supernatural, I suggest you should do the same thing. Next book is Cult of Dracula, #1. And that's by Rich Davis and illustrated by Henry Martinez. Cult of Dracula is from Source Point Press, and it takes place in the current day. It looks like it's in this kind of rural area, and the first scene shows a detective showing up at what looks like a crime scene of a grisly, like either mass murder or mass suicide or something like that. They show the detective going over the scene. They kind of have what looks like flashbacks of what happened before, and then unexplained, in an unexplained kind of a manner, we see what looks like a film crew, and kind of not from a television station, but like from filmmakers, documentary filmmakers, I would suppose. And among those people are they use the characters from Dracula, like the lead guy is Van Helsing. There is Lena, I think, is the name, the other girl who's with Van Helsing, and there's Jonathan Harker he's the cameraman with this documentary team. So we kind of are led to believe that this maybe happened before the massacre, because there's no title that tells you as far as the chronology of these events. So you have to kind of figure it out. And as Jonathan Harker is getting his camera they're going to, I guess, to interview this priest or this cult leader or something like that. And they once again don't really explain, who this guy is or what his name is or much of anything else like that. Then some guy comes out and brings in the leader, who is Van Helsing, and the other woman. And Harker stays out because he's got to get some stuff out of the truck for the film crew, because he is the film crew. Excuse me. And he runs into this girl named Lucy. There's Lucy in the Dracula story as well. And Lucy just for some reason wandering around barefoot, wearing a slip in the woods, and she jumps out of the from behind the van and frightens Harker. And for some reason, Harker in one panel is on the ground. The next panel, he's like standing on a trunk, and Lucy scares him off the trunk. So it's kind of an editorial thing. There's a couple of editorial things in addition to not getting the chronology really clear. That's another editorial flaw in this book. Lucy starts talking to a Harker, and she's kind of like spacey, kind of the way Lucy was in the Dracula movie. And some of some crazy looking guy with scars on his face comes around and starts talking crazy, and like really talking crazy too. I mean, like, just saying like all these cliches, and all of a sudden saying like, I don't know, it sounds kind of like some cross between Charles Manson and, I don't know, some comedian or something like that. So he comes out and starts talking to this guy. He's playing with a gun. It doesn't really, shock Harker the way you think that would shock him. He doesn't react the way you would think. But anyway, eventually he goes inside. Harker goes inside. He leaves all the other stuff outside. He's met another individual as well, who is famous from some scandal that he was in. But Harker goes inside with Nina and with Van Helsing, and I guess they're brought in to meet whoever they're supposed to be meeting. That's the leader of the cult. And there's an instance where Nina, Harker and Van Helsing's assistant, I'm not sure if she's telepathic as well, but she picks up on something. She looks through through a crack in the door, and she sees some things. I'm not sure if this is a flashback as well, or if this is something she's actually seeing, because it's just really, it's a gap in the, in the storytelling right there. That I'm not sure it's from the writer's fault or the editor's fault, but it's not really clear, and the story ends abruptly. It's like that's it, that's the end. So bottom line, this story is, it's interesting enough that I kind of want to know where it's going. I mean, there's a lot of editorial problems. The flashback at the end where she's looking through the door, where the guy falls off the trunk, where we're not told what the chronology is, as far as the massacre, as opposed to the film crew getting there. Okay, there's another book, Fear Case, that suffered from some editorial problems too in issue number 1. And now I just read issue number 3 of Fear Case, and I can't wait to read issue number 4. So I'm willing to give it another chance, but man, the first issue had some holes in it. It had some good parts too, but it was almost like 50-50 both. So I can't heavily endorse Cult of Dracula, but it's okay. And I don't know. I mean, I don't know. This is, I'm kind of torn here because I really want it to be good, but it doesn't seem like it really is as good as I thought it was going to be. But I think it has the potential to be a decent story, because I like the way they're using the characters, the classic characters, who I'm pretty sure are in the public domain. Dracula, I believe, is in the public domain, so it's free characters to do with as you will. And I just want to see what they do with them. If the next issue is as clunky and hard to follow as this one is, that's it. But yeah, Cult of Dracula, it's and the covers are great. I mean, there's a Shannon Mayer cover, which is great, but a lot of times you fall for the good cover thing, like with the Green Hornet, and you just they don't put a lot of effort into the story, into the editing, and so forth like that. So, long story short, way too late. If you're into vampires and horror and stuff like that, I think you could check out Cult of Dracula, issue number 1, and give it the 1 issue, 2 issue try, like I said. But I don't know, see what you think about that, folks. I mean, I'm am I wrong here? But yeah, I can't give it an overwhelming, resounding thumbs up, but it's kind of it's okay, kind of a thing. This week I'm starting a new segment called Artist Alley. In this segment, I want to talk about a lot of the lesser known comics out there. This comic was actually sent to me by the writer, and so I read it, and it's called Strongbox, and it's written by it's created and written by H. Thomas Altman, and the artist is Sebastian Sala. Now, the story takes place in 1980. Um, Frank Boone is a detective. He drives this cool, like Hot Wheels like car, which is it's pretty nice. And the beginning of the story, he gets into a fight with all these thugs, and he handles the thugs quite handily for a man his age, which is kind of surprising. I would have loved more if he'd more developed the character of Frank Boone, since I'm a big fan of detective stories. But we spent a lot of time, like the first half of the book, maybe, or the first like 6, 7 pages of him just in this fight with these thugs, and it's kind of um, redundant in some ways. I do love the yellow pad used for narration. What I don't like so much is the change in font sizes and font styles. I think that hampers the books a lot. If they use one font style, maybe a hand-lettered style for the yellow page narration, and just been consistent with the balloons, it would have been much better. Um, I'm not sure if this is Thomas's first adventure into comic publishing and comic writing. If so, this is a good effort. My first effort was not this good. This is a pretty together issue that they have here. Um, Other than just the font choices and the changes in balloon styles, this is a good first issue for indie comic. I'm curious to find out what happens in the next issue. More about Frank Boone. So maybe I'll look more into this series. I think this is a good detective story. It's definitely worth picking up. So the book is called Strongbox, the Big Bad Book of Boone, and it's on Antarctic Press. So I'll leave a link below as to how you can check this book out. So that's all for this Indie Comics review. Just recently we passed 600 subscribers, and thanks to all you guys for, each one of you guys for subscribing. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to start giving away books every week until we hit 1,000 subscribers, and then I'll think of something big to do when we hit 1,000. I'll, travel over that bridge when we come to it. But I'll figure that out then. But right now, in the meantime, we're going to be giving away books every week, and the first book is going to be Amazing Spider-Man 55, the third printing, the blue spider wavy cover that I love so much. Those such very cool covers, the Gleason covers. So I'm going to give away a copy of that. And how you do that is you go to, in this very video, go to the comment sections and leave a comment. Everyone who leaves a comment in this video will be entered into the drawing to win said book. Now, just by leaving a comment, you are automatically entered into the drawing. Now, unless you don't want to be entered into the drawing, you can just say like, hey, I don't, leave me out of that shit, and I don't want to be bothered. But you can opt out that way. Otherwise, you will be entered into the drawing for the comic book. So leave a comment down below, and I will reveal the winner. Actually, I will just put all the names into a little bowl and draw them and draw it out next week. So next week I will reveal the winner of the first giveaway, and I will do the same thing every week on the Indie Comics Review videos. So that's it for this Indie Comics Review. Sure to hit the like button, hit the subscribe button, and turn on notifications so you know when I'm making my next video. So remember, leave a comment down below, and I'll enter you into the drawing for the Spider-Man, Amazing Spider-Man number 55, Gleason third printing. So until then, I'll see you guys in my next video. Hey, don't forget to subscribe and leave a thumbs up.